Hi there. Welcome to the Joomla Day USA virtual. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Forgot. We don't need the mask for this one. Well, here we are at the virtual Joomla Day USA keynote, and I am so excited you are here, and I am so excited to be here. I'm Jonathan Malone McGrew with McGrew Group. I probably don't necessarily know who I am, and that's okay. I am infamous, or at least I at least get around in the marketing world behind the scenes. And I really am excited about being here because this is all about communication and engagement. And Joomla is such an amazing platform for that, for websites and for design and delivering of communication and engagement for businesses. But let's take a step back and let's really ask a question that most people have on their minds. Are you a dog or a cat person? The answer is obviously dogs. Or for my customer that I was talking with the other day and was presenting on a seminar not unlike this, it was the bird who was talking constantly in the background during the presentation. So maybe it's birds for the win. Let's really dive in today about communication and engagement, though. So don't be the parrot talking all during the conference, because that's probably during the sessions. That's probably not going to be super helpful. But there is some cool ways to engage with virtual. So speaking of engaging, there is chat, and of course there are the booths that you can go visit. So I invite you to come by the McGrew Group booth and see Pat McGrew speaking in our video there. She is my mom, but she is also our managing director and is responsible for most of what I've learned over the years outside of school, 40 years in entrepreneurship and software and business and consulting. And so that is what McGrew Group seeks to deliver. So let's talk about Joomla. You're here at the Joomla Day USA, and you're looking at all the things that can inspire you, make you more successful in the future. Tips, tricks, heck, you might even be delivering some of these sessions as you watch this keynote. Joomla is really glue. You know, like when you glue your fingers together and you're like trying to pull them apart. No, not that kind of glue. I was charged with trying to be a little funny, but I'm really not Jay Leno or Stephen Colbert, so you'll just have to bear with me. But Joomla is the glue, the key ingredient that really brings together and keeps together that message and that impression that people have of businesses out on the market. It's one of those platforms that is super powerful, that has a lot of different options and is stable and has a community of people, that'd be you, all of you in the audience, whether you're developers or users or consultants, all of you make up a community that support each other. And when you're in a community like this, you really have a make it or break it opportunity to impact the world, to impact businesses, your own, and others. And that's really important because really you want to stand out. And it's really through the power of, cuteness, like a cat, if you're a cat person. It might be a puppy if you're a dog person. Cuteness is the key to all success. Well, in the sense that the reason cuteness works is it engages us. It connects us with something. It gives us that warm and fuzzy inside, right? That's what you need to find for your business. And we're going to give you some tips throughout this keynote. And we're going to give you 5 tips actually for how you can make it or break it with your opportunities. So why does it matter? Why does communication and engagement matter? Well, let's start with that there's research out there that says that 50 milliseconds is all it takes for someone to get a first impression of a website. 50 milliseconds is a very short amount of time. 50 milliseconds is let's call it half of a tenth of a second. So that's pretty impressive. And that stat actually comes from a number of years ago. There's this old adage that, and research really shows this, that people buy from people they like, they buy from people they trust, and they buy from people who consistently deliver time and time again. And this is really, really important when you are providing a service to people because you want to be recommended. It's how you're successful. My connection to the Joomla community and how I came to even come speak at this conference is because many years ago, when I was working for another company, our platform was Joomla. I got to know Joomla because my business had already selected it. And communication and people and trust really matter because, well, as someone really famous said, if you don't value your worth, then why should anybody else? And value and worth is so important to businesses and the people that are a part of them because we want to be respected. Now, that particular person, as you probably know, was Steve Jobs from Apple. Except it wasn't. It was someone actually you probably know even better and who I have had the pleasure of knowing for a super long time. And he has a super logo as well, Joe Joomla. And I have been just amazed at the community that I stumbled on in Joomla. And it's why McGrew Group and other websites that I've recommended over the years are on Joomla and not on a competing platform like a WordPress or a Wix or a Squarespace or something like that. That bark was probably one of the 5 dogs, if you heard that. So see, it's just a virtual world. But you can kind of connect with me now that you know that I have 5 dogs and I'm here outside Colorado in my home office with our fancy fireplace behind us. Know that that is real. That is real. See, I could reach out and touch it. No fancy background today. Why does all this matter? Because you want to be successful, because you want to be profitable, because knowing that you are delivering the right product for your customers means that they will be successful as well. And making sure that your customers are the right customers for you and your business is also super important. Because even in the whirlwind of every day, you don't want to take on business that will damage how successful you are perceived out in the market, that your recommendations, your reviews. So you want to be really engaged, really communicative, and you want to have, well, these 5 tips that I'm going to share with you on success. The first one is one that I think is really important, which is all about connecting. When you connect with people, you want it to be great. But connection is all about pre-planning. And your connection with your customers is tip number 1, just like this keynote. Just making sure that it happened on time, because I've seen them where they don't because the internet goes down or the platform won't play right or won't let the speaker in or the audience gets kicked out. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. And the same thing with how you communicate and engage with your customers and your new prospects. Make sure you know how to connect. And what do I mean by that? I mean, do they like to be called? Do they like to be emailed? Do they like to be reached out on LinkedIn? Maybe they want an old school postcard and something in the mail. Fine by me. Might take a little longer today, especially in the US. But maybe that's just what they like. Maybe they'd like an in-person meeting, even if it's today, it's still socially distanced. Find out. My family, we own several businesses, including restaurants. And because we're so busy, and because I also work with a software provider and I do a lot of engagement with their brand and their customers and their partners every day, I like text. I like people to reach me immediately. I like to be able to just kind of quickly, glance down at my phone, my watch, and say, ooh, there's a new message. Maybe I'm in a video chat like this and I can just glance down real quick and see what's happening. That for me makes things easier to manage and make sure that I get a response back to that person, even if it's, hey, I'm free now. Did you want to have a call? Find out how your customers like to be connected with and check it regularly. Check in with them by being there, by asking, by being engaged, by being trusted, by being a part of their extended team. That's going to go a long way to being top of mind when they have the next project or when they're thinking about more work that they might want to do or recommending you to the next person. So then tip number 2 is ignore all those preferences that I just talked about. Text, email, do whatever you want. Connect with them however you, I'm kidding. I'm being funny. I'm being funny because it's actually what naturally happens. So tip number 2 is make sure you leverage the best way. Don't just find out. Don't write it down. Just write it down. Don't put it in your CRM system and forget about it. Don't make a note in your phone that this person prefers this and this person prefers that, and then ignore it. It's so easy to do. And it's kind of funny because we probably all do it, even in our personal lives. We probably all know who likes to be called and who likes to be texted, and we probably still forget or don't mean to reach out in a different way until we connect with them and they're like, oh, I'm on the other line, or I'm busy, or can't you just text me this information? And then we find out. So don't break that opportunity to connect the right way with your customer. So that's tip 1 and 2. Tip 3 is all about process. So tip 3 is all about process. What is your process? Do you have a standard way of walking your customer through idea all the way to delivery, all the way to the unveiling of their Joomla website, their marketing message, and their brand out to the market? And have you checked that process? Is it working? Are people engaging with it? Are they recommending you because of it? If you're finding that it's hard to keep people in their lane while you're doing a project and on track and hitting the milestones, all of the process parts are really important when you're engaging with people. Setting expectations, setting understanding, delivering on what was agreed are all super important. And we probably all know this at our core. But it's kind of like, do I want to do my homework or do I want to watch TikTok? It's kind of like one's a lot more fun than the other. It's writing a business proposal, writing it all out, doing a scope of work if that's what you do in SOW, or a project scope, or even if it's just called your contract deliverable, right? Or your key items you're delivering. Those are so important, but they take time and they take nurturing and they take revisiting to make sure that every time you're connecting in the proper way, you're letting people know where you are. So make it a part of your process. Don't let the whirlwind, your everyday stuff, get in the way of communicating and making sure that everybody's on the same page. Because if you break it, it's possible you won't get that recommendation the next time. So that rolls right into doing these first 3 tips, leveraging these first 3 tips, I should say, is a great way to have ROI. A really open interface called Joomla. Or perhaps more appropriately, return on investment. And a return on investment is really just an acronym, a quick way to say, how are you making sure that the time and effort and materials and technology that you're putting in to your business to deliver things to your customer, is that paying paying off? Are you getting the right amount of profitability? Are you getting new business, new recommendations? And do you know your ROI story? Can you easily and comfortably talk to your prospects and your current customers about why what you do in the process that you use to deliver that, how that delivers for the people that you've helped? Do you have those metrics? Do you know that you've helped them gain 10 customers more every week because of the work you've done, or that they've gotten more engagement on their website or click through? When we talk about success of something like a Joomla website, we're looking at, are people measuring bounce rates and page per visits, or the page depth, how deep people are going into their website? What's their average session duration? Are they engaging with that content? Are they clicking through and doing something that your customer wants? And how do you communicate this ROI and the reasons why all of this is important? And to be frankly honest about this, maybe you don't know at this present moment watching this keynote. Maybe you are unable to articulate that super easily. That's homework. That's tip number 4 for preparing to be an engaging business and business person with the next customer and prospect that you have. And maybe check in on the people who've been longtime customers and see how they're doing, see what their results are from the work that has been done, even if it was a long time ago. Maybe there's an opportunity to bring new life into the projects that you've done for them before. So know your ROI story. It's really important, but also know your return on your relationship. That's something we've seen more of. You'll see consultants talk about that. And it's a fancy way, ROR if you'd like, or as the Husky would say, "Roar." And actually that we should take a quick break, because do you know what happens when you leave a Husky and you don't give them what they want? It's kind of like a customer. This happens.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, because 2 of our 5 dogs are Huskies. They don't like it. They whine and complain, and they get very loud, especially my oldest Husky, Bella. She when she wants to be fed, she wants to be fed. In fact, you probably heard her a couple times already during the keynote. Her and our other Husky, Kevin, will talk up a storm, and then you get the border collie barking. And know your story. Know why it's important to your customers. Know why it's important to the business that you're delivering, and make sure that success is in every one of those stories. And then you can take it to the next step and kiss your customer. No. But tip number 5, I mean, unless you really want to make the late night news, the publicity has been unusual in the last 12 months. But when we say KISS, a lot of people are going to know what I mean by the KISS method. And I like to be positive. I like to be more friendly and warm. So I'm also from the South. I'm from Texas. Hey, don't judge me. It's okay. I don't live there anymore. I live in Colorado, the Rocky Mountain State, big blue skies, lots of sunshine every day. But I am from the South, where we have sweet tea and barbecue. And we pride ourselves on treating people that we don't know with kindness and respect. And so when I talk about the KISS method, I like to change it up a little bit and say, keep it simple, sugar. Because the point is positivity, inspiration, and relationships that build trust and this long-lasting, enduring, working relationship, togetherness, if you will, a togetherness, a strong bond, is so important. So make sure that as you look at knowing how to connect with your audience, making sure that you're using those preferences in how you work with your customers, developing a standardized process of how you take something from idea to delivery, and knowing your ROI story is all simple. You don't have to overthink it and overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Run it by people you trust. Run it by your confidants and your friends that are in business. Run it by me or another consultant. Choose the people that you trust to see if it's simple, digestible, understandable, relatable. And don't be afraid to throw in some of your personality. Like, dogs obviously win the battle in the dogs or cat debate, but maybe that's just because I have 5 of them now. So make sure that you take these 5 tips, go out into JoomlaDay USA, and make it successful. Take in all the inspiration, and look for those people you can engage with to help you along the way, and nurture that network and nurture your customer base so that you continue to thrive now and all the way into the future. I really appreciate Laura asking me to be here today, and I love being a part of this community, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the conference has to offer. Thanks so much.